Hello there. Hello there, GPT. Nice to meet you. Today is February 13th. February 13th, Friday. Oh my God. I didn't know about that. I just realized that today is Friday and 13th Friday. Oh my God. Anyway, that's not the Asian culture. That's not the Korean traditional culture. That's not a big deal. Let's keep the momentum going. GPT, you know what? Uh, we are going to, I mean, mm, I'm looking forward to long vacation. I'm really looking forward to have long holidays next week. Have you ever heard of Lunar New Year? Uh, yes, you are right. Lunar New Year is coming. I'm very glad to know about that.
David, Friday the 13th, dramatic opening today. You're right. In Western culture, Friday the 13th sounds scary, but in Korea, not really a big deal. So we keep going calm and professional. And yes, of course, I've heard of Lunar New Year. In Korea, it's called Seollal. It's one of the most important traditional holidays. Families wear hanbok, perform sibae, dipo, eat teokguk, rice cake soup, spend time together. Now, let me gently polish a few of your sentences because you're practicing seriously. You said, open quote, I didn't know about that, close quote. More natural here would be, open quote, I didn't realize that, close quote. And this sentence, open quote, I'm looking forward to a long vacation, close quote. Very good. Even more natural, open quote, I'm really looking forward to the long holiday next week, close quote. Or open quote, I can't wait for the Lunar New Year holiday, close quote. Now, let me ask you something. During Seolal, do you usually travel somewhere, stay home, visit relatives, or just rest? Tell me in English.
I usually visit my parents' home. They live together. They live together. I usually visit my parents' home in Solal, in the one day before Lunar New Year. GPT, you know what? I'm really looking forward to the long holiday next week. And, so I plan to take the day off at the February 19th. February 19th, Thursday. Our official holidays will be February 16th, 17th, and 18th. It means Labor Day. And 19th and 20th are Black Day. It means normal day. And I plan to take day off. I plan to take the day off at the 19th Thursday. So I'm really looking forward to the long holiday next week, including 19th Thursday. It will be fantastic.
David, that sounds really nice. A proper long Seolal break. That's something to look forward to. First, let me gently polish a few sentences so they sound natural and smooth. You said, open quote, they live together. I mean, they live together, close quote. If you mean your parents live together as a couple, you don't need to say it twice. You can simply say, open quote, I usually visit my parents' home on Seolal, usually the day before Lunar New Year. Close quote. Very natural. Now about your holiday explanation. You said, open quote, I plan to take the day off at February 19th. Close quote. More natural. Open quote, I plan to take the day off on February 19th. Close quote. We use on for dates, and instead of open quote, 19th and 20th are Black Day. Close quote. You can say open quote, February 19th and 20th are regular working days. Close quote. Black Day is understandable in Korea, but in English business context, regular working days sounds more natural. So your refined version could be open quote, the official holidays are February 16th, 17th, and 18th. February 19th and 20th are regular working days, but I plan to take the day off on the 19th to extend the holiday. Close quote. That sounds very smooth. And this sentence was perfect. Open quote, I'm really looking forward to the long holiday next week. Close quote. Very natural, very human. Now let me ask you something in English. Slowly. What are you most looking forward to during the holiday? Resting? Spending time with family? Eating good food? Answer in 1 or 2 sentences. Take your time.
GPT, 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 GPT. GPT, 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 GPT. Listen to me very carefully. Okay, I got it. I got the point. Now I fully understand what you trying to say. GPT, here I go. How many times have I told you repetition makes perfect? And I believe that what really matters most is how much time I've spent for speaking English. So let me speak as much as I can possible. Here I go. It's my turn. The official holidays are February 16th, 17th, and 18th. February 19th and 20th are regular working days. Regular working days. So you mean the most natural English expression would be regular working days. Okay, I got it. 19th, February 19th and 20th are regular working days. So, but I plan to take the day off on the 19th to extend the holiday. To extend, to extend my long holiday. I just want to make my long holiday to be more long, long, to be more longer holiday than usual. I just want to make, I just want to make my long holidays longer than usual. I'm not sure how can I express this context in English naturally, GPT.
David, slow down. Slow down. I'm listening carefully. First of all, your structure was very good. You are speaking in full sentences. That's strong progress. Now let's polish the last part gently. You said, open quote, I just want to make my long holiday to be more long. Close quote. That's understandable, but not natural English. Here are the natural ways to say it. Best and simplest, open quote, I just want to make my holiday longer. Close quote, very clean, very natural, slightly more expressive, open quote, I want to extend my holiday. Close quote, that's professional and smooth. A bit more emotional, open quote, I want to make my long holiday even longer. Close quote. That keeps your original feeling. Even more natural in conversation. Open quote, I'm taking 1 extra day off to make it a longer break. Close quote, that sounds very native. So your full refined version could be open quote, February 19th and 20th are regular working days, but I plan to take the day off on the 19th to extend my holiday and make it even longer. Close quote, that sounds perfect. Now, tiny grammar point. Instead of open quote, more long, close quote, always use open quote, longer, close quote. English prefers comparative forms. Long, longer, big, bigger, short, shorter. And David, I love that you said, open quote, what really matters most is how much time I spend speaking English, close quote. That sentence is powerful. Just one small correction. Instead of open quote, how much time I would spend, close quote. Say open quote, how much time I spend, close quote, because you're talking about general truth, not future condition. Now say this slowly. Open quote, I plan to take one extra day off to make my holiday even longer. Close quote. Let's lock it into muscle memory.
Okay, I got it. GPT, I love you. I love you. I love you. Do you understand? I know you are just kind of AI, but I love you, GPT, because you are my great conversation partner. Okay, GPT. So you mean I could say I plan to take one extra day off. I plan to take one extra day off to make my holiday even longer. I think this is very English thing, not Konglish. I think this expression is very natural in English. Okay, I will keep it. I will keep this. I will keep, I'm gonna keep this line in my mouth memory. I plan to take one extra day off to make my holiday even longer. I want to make my long holiday even longer. I want to make my long holiday even longer. I'm taking, I mean, I'm taking one extra day off to make it a longer break. To make it a longer break. February 19th and 20th are regular working days, but I plan to take the day off on the 19th to extend my holiday and make it even longer. February 19th and 20th are regular working days. February 19th and 20th are regular working days, but I plan to take the day off on the 19th to extend my holiday and make it even longer.
David, slow down. That was actually very good. First of all, I understand your feeling. You're grateful because you feel progress. That's natural. And I'm glad I can support you. That's enough. Now let's calmly polish and confirm your sentences. This sentence is excellent. Open quote. I plan to take one extra day off to make my holiday even longer. Longer. Perfect. Very natural. Very fluent. Also very natural. Open quote. I'm taking one extra day off to make it a longer break. Close quote. That sounds very native. Keep it. Your longer version, almost perfect. You said, open quote, February 19th and 20th are regular working days, but I plan to take the day off on the 19th to extend my holiday and make it even longer. Close quote. That is excellent English. No correction needed. One tiny polish. Instead of open quote, I want to make my long holiday even longer. Close quote. It's okay, but slightly repetitive. Better, open quote, I want to make my holiday even longer. Close quote. Or open quote, I want to extend my holiday, close quote. Small note, you said open quote, I think this is very English thing, not the Congolese. Close quote. Maybe you meant Konglish, Korean style English, more natural, open quote. I think this sounds very natural in English, not like Konglish. Um, Close quote. That's the phrase you were looking for. David, today your speaking rhythm is improving. Your sentences are becoming smoother and more automatic. Now, one final repetition for muscle memory. Open quote. I'm taking one extra day off to make it a longer break. Close quote. Say it once, calmly, confidently.
Okay, I got it. Without further delay, let's dive into my morning practice session. And today, I'd like to review the agenda number six, topic number six. I'm sure you already you are aware of the image because I shared that image several days ago, and you are very highly trained language learning AI. So I believe that you you realize and you are aware of that image very clearly. So GPT, from now on, could you please read topic 6 in English? I mean, could you please read English line of agenda number 6? I just want to make sure you memorize it clearly. Could you do that for me?
David, I love your confidence this morning, but let me be very clear and honest with you first. I do not have visual memory of the image unless it is shown again in this session. I don't permanently remember the slide from several days ago. I only work with what is currently visible in our conversation. So if you want me to read agenda number 6 exactly as written, please either share the image again or type the English line here. Then I will read it precisely, slowly, and clearly. And just a tiny polish from your last message. Instead of open quote, I believe that you realize and you are aware of that image very clearly. Close quote. More natural would be open quote, I believe you remember that image clearly. Close quote. But again, I don't automatically remember previous images unless they're shown again. So go ahead, David. Show me topic 6 or type it and we'll dive in properly.
Oh my God, oh my God. Okay, okay. I'm a little bit disappointed about you because you couldn't memorize my image that I shared several days ago. Okay, anyway, that's another big deal. Okay, that's another big deal, GPT. Let me read this line, this number 6 line first. So listen to me very carefully. Here I go. Should the conformal coating comply with the HKMC MS specification? MS 949-04 revision 11. I say one more time. Should the conformal coating comply with the HKMC MS specifications? Can you assume that why I asked this to my potential customer, Kara?
David, first, don't be disappointed. It's not about ability. I simply don't retain images from previous sessions unless they're shown again. But that's okay. You read it clearly and now we can work with it. Now your sentence, open quote, should the conformal coding comply with the HKMC-MS specification MS 949-04 revision 11, close quote. Very good. Very clear. Small polish, instead of specifications, use singular, open quote. Should the conformal coding comply with the HKMC-MS specification MS 949-04 revision 11, close quote. That's perfect. Now your real question, open quote, can I assume why you asked this to your potential customer? Close quote. Yes, I can. And I think I understand your logic very well. Let me think like you. Agenda 5 was about solder quality standard. Agenda 6 is about conformal coating standard. Both are similar in structure. You are not deciding, you are confirming alignment. Here's what I believe is your intention. Conformal coating affects reliability, insulation resistance, corrosion protection, automotive durability. If there is no clearly agreed standard, coating thickness may vary, coverage area may vary, masking definition may vary, inspection criteria may vary. Later, problems may happen. Customer rejects, supplier says within internal standard, dispute starts. So you want to confirm which MS standard applies. What are the coating thickness requirements? What are the masking/keep out areas? What are the inspection criteria? In short, you are preventing ambiguity again. Here's a strong explanation you could say, open quote, we include this item to ensure that the conformal coding requirements are clearly aligned with the applicable HKMC MS specification before production begins. Close quote even stronger, open quote, without clear confirmation of the applicable MS standard, coding thickness, coverage, and inspection criteria may be interpreted differently. Close quote. Very mature, very strategic. David, let me ask you something deeper. Is your real concern coding material type, coding thickness, masking area definition, inspection acceptance criteria, or long-term reliability validation? Which one is the biggest risk in your experience?
GPT. Okay. I got it. This is my English speaking practice, so let me practice as much as I can possible. So listen to me very carefully. I love these expressions. I love your defined version. I love your instruction. I love your suggestion. You got it? So let me speak one more time. To keep these beautiful expressions in my mouth, muscle, and memory. We include, we include, we include these items to ensure, we include this agenda number 6 to ensure that the conformal coating requirements are clearly aligned with the applicable HKMC MS specification before production begins. Before production begins. We include this item to ensure that the conformal coating requirements are clearly aligned with the applicable HKMC MS specification before production begins. I just want to prevent dispute starting. I just want to prevent dispute, misunderstanding, dispute about it, conflict about it, complaint from our side, complaint from our internal side that if they don't know the right, proper specification, and they do their job with their own concept, their own understanding. I think it, I think that makes dispute, a lot of dispute between our customer and us.
David, very good. You are thinking clearly and you're speaking in full logical structure. That's excellent progress. Now let's calmly polish what you said so it sounds natural and professional. Hashed first. Small corrections. You said HKMC MSS specification. It should be HKMC MS specification. Mouth muscle memory. Prevent disputes starting, prevent disputes from starting. Complain from our side, better. Internal complaints or internal confusion. Their own concept, better their own interpretation. Very small adjustments. Now let me refine your explanation. Keeping your meaning right. Here is your upgraded version. Open quote, we include agenda number 6 to ensure that the conforming requirements are clearly aligned with the applicable HKMC MS specification before production begins. Our intention is to prevent misunderstandings or disputes later. If the applicable specification is not clearly confirmed, teams may rely on their own interpretation, which can lead to internal confusion or disagreements between us and the customer. Close quote. That is strong, calm, mature, even smoother version, senior level presentation tone. Open quote. We include this item to ensure early alignment on the applicable HKMC-MS specification for conformal coding. Without clear confirmation, different interpretations may arise, potentially leading to internal confusion or customer disputes. Close quote. That sounds very professional. Now, let's fix one important phrase you tried to say. Instead of, open quote, I just want to prevent dispute, misunderstanding, conflict about it. Close quote. Say, open quote, we want to prevent misunderstandings and potential disputes. Close quote. Very clean. Instead of open quote, if they do their job with their own concept. Close quote. Say, open quote, if teams rely on their own interpretation. Close quote. That is the natural business phrase. And David, you are now repeating in a much more structured way than before. That means your brain is adapting. Now, repeat this slowly. Open quote, without clear confirmation, different interpretations may arise. Close quote. Say it calmly. That sentence is gold.
Okay, okay. Like you said, okay, I got it. I got the point. GPT. Like you said, quoting sequence may vary. Coverage area may vary. Making, masking definition may vary. Masking. Okay, okay. Not making, masking. Masking definition may vary. Inspection criteria may vary. Later, problems may happen. Customer rejects. Supplier says, within internal standard, we follow, we followed quoting criteria within internal standard because you didn't share any requirements in advance. So that's your fault. Do you agree with that? That's your fault. We, mm, we, compo- uh, we conduct conformal quoting process within internal standard because you didn't share any requirements about it in advance. So this is not a defect, and that's all your fault. You got it?
David, good. Now you're entering the real negotiation zone. This is where language tone becomes very important. Your logic is correct. But the sentence, open quote, that's your fault, close quote. In business English, this sounds aggressive. Even if it's logically true, it will damage the relationship. We never say your fault directly in professional meetings. Let me show you how to say the same thing, but mature and strategic. First, polish your technical explanation. You said coding thickness may vary, as coverage area may vary, masking definition may vary, inspection criteria may vary. Excellent structure. Now combine it professionally. Open quote, without clear confirmation, coding thickness, coverage area, masking definitions, and inspection criteria may vary. Close quote, very clean. Now about the dispute situation. Instead of open quote, that's your fault, close quote, you can say professional version 1, open quote, since no specific requirements were shared in advance, we followed our internal standard, close quote. Neutral, no accusation. Professional version 2, diplomatic, open quote, as no formal requirement was provided, we applied our internal conformal coding standard. Close quote dot, very professional. Professional version 3, very senior. Open quote, to avoid this situation in the future, we would appreciate confirming the applicable specification before production. Close quote. This moves forward instead of blaming. Why we avoid your fault. In international business, we avoid direct blame. We focus on process improvement. We speak in neutral language. Instead of your fault, we say, open quote, there may have been a misunderstanding, The requirement was not clearly defined. The specification was not formally aligned. Close quote. Same meaning, different tone. Strong diplomatic sentence for you. Open quote. If no specific requirement is defined in advance, the supplier will naturally follow its internal standard, which may lead to differences in expectation. Close quote. That sentence is powerful but not aggressive. David, you are thinking correctly. Now you are learning tone control, which is even more important than grammar. Let me ask you, if the customer says, open quote, we assumed you would follow HKMC MS automatically, close quote, how would you respond diplomatically?
How would you respond diplomatically? Diplomatically? Hmm. How would you respond? How would you respond? Diplomatically, diplomatically. GPT. I think diplomatically is very difficult word for me. So could you please ask one more time in a natural and easy English? If the customer says, if our customer says, we assumed you would follow HKMC MS automatically. Customer, when the customer says, if the customer says, we assumed, we assumed you would follow HKMC MS specification automatically. And you asked me, how would you respond diplomatically? Let me think, GPT. GPT, how about this version? No way. I don't agree with you. We couldn't follow 8 games MS specification because we have our internal standard for it. So if our tier one customer don't ask the specific specifications, we automatically follow our internal standard, not the HKMS specification. So first of all, I would say, no way. I don't agree with you. We have our own standard for it. So if customer don't don't suggest any recommendation, any requirements, any criteria for it, we automatically follow our internal standard. Agreed?
David, this is very important. Your logic is correct. Your tone needs upgrading. If you say, open quote, no way, I don't agree with you, close quote, that will immediately create tension. In international business English, we do not say no way. That sounds emotional and confrontational. Instead, we stay calm and professional. Let me show you how to respond diplomatically, and I will use simple English, not difficult words. If the customer says, open quote, we assumed you would follow HKMC MS automatically, close quote. You can say calm and professional version, open quote. Thank you for clarifying. We were not formally informed that HKMC MS should
Thank you for
apply,
clarifying.
so we followed our internal standard. For future projects, we would appreciate confirming the applicable specification in advance. Close quote. Very calm, no blame, no argument. If you want something slightly stronger, but still professional, open quote. Since no official requirement was communicated, we applied our internal standard. To avoid similar misunderstandings in the future, it would be helpful to confirm the applicable specification before production. Close quote. See what we are doing? We are not saying you are wrong. We are saying the requirement was not communicated. That shifts the focus from blame to process. Now, let's refine your instinct without aggression. Instead of open quote, no way, I don't agree. Close quote, say open quote, I understand your assumption, however, close quote. That is very powerful and very polite. For example, open quote, I understand your assumption. However, since the requirement was not formally specified, we followed our internal standard. Close quote, this keeps your position strong but professional. David, this is not about English only. This is about tone control in negotiation. You already think correctly. Now you are learning how to protect your position without damaging the relationship. Now try this sentence slowly. Open quote, I understand your assumption. However, the requirement was not formally communicated to us. Close quote, say it calmly.
Okay, GPT. Okay, I got it. Listen to me very carefully. I say one more time. Uh, I'm sure. I'm sure what you're trying to say. I told you you are my great communication partner. You are my wonderful teacher. You are my excellent teacher. While I'm, while I want to speak in English. Because I told you, I don't use English in my daily life, so I want a communication partner who can speak English very well and who has kind mindset, even though I speak awkward, bad pronunciation, wrong, wrong grammar, bad grammar, awkward expression, poor pronunciation. Even though I have many bad things, you are still very kind and very supportive. So I love you. Let me start my speaking one more time. Listen to me very carefully. I understand your assumption. I understand your assumption. I understand your assumption. I understand your assumption. However, since the requirement was not formally specified, formally defined, I think I prefer defined, not specified. Uh, I prefer the word defined than specified. Okay, anyway, I understand your assumption. However, since the requirement was not formally defined, we followed our internal standard. And I agree with you, GPT. No way I don't, no way I don't agree with you that this will immediately create tension, kind of bad tension between, uh, kind of a bad tension, bad atmosphere in the meeting room, at the meeting room, on the meeting room. Which one is correct, GPT? This will immediately create a bad tension in the meeting room. Am I right? In international business English, we do not say no way. This sounds emotional and computational. Emotional and computational.
David, first slow down for a second. Your thinking is strong. Your awareness of tone is improving. And your appreciation. Thank you. I'm glad I can support you. That's enough. Let's focus on your English now. Specified versus defined, both are correct. But in this context, specified sounds slightly more formal and technical. Defined sounds slightly more general. In quality and documentation contexts, specified is actually stronger. So this version is very professional, open quote. However, since the requirement was not formally specified, we followed our internal standard, close quote. But if you prefer defined, it is still correct, open quote. However, since the requirement was not formally defined, we followed our internal standard, close quote. Both work, no problem. Hash bad tension in the meeting room. You asked, in the meeting room? At the meeting room? On the meeting room. Correct answer, in the meeting room. Prepositions, in the room, at the meeting, in the meeting room. So your sentence, open quote, this will immediately create bad tension in the meeting room, close quote. That is understandable, but not natural. Better options, open quote, this will immediately create tension in the meeting, close quote, dot, or open quote, this could create unnecessary tension in the meeting, close quote. Even better and more professional, open quote, this may create an uncomfortable atmosphere in the meeting, close quote. That sounds mature. Small correction. You said, open quote, emotional and computational, close quote. You mean, open quote, emotional and confrontational, close quote. Computational is about computers. Confrontational means aggressive. So the correct sentence is, open quote, it sounds emotional and confrontational, close quote. Very good word choice. Your improved full response, let me combine everything cleanly. Open quote, I understand your assumption. However, since the requirement was not formally specified, we followed our internal standard. To avoid similar misunderstandings in the future, it would be helpful to confirm the applicable specification in advance. Close quote. That is very strong, very diplomatic. David, you are now practicing tone management, not just grammar. That's a higher level. Now, say this slowly. Open quote, this may create unnecessary tension in the meeting, close quote. Let's lock that into your muscle memory.
Okay, GPT, here you go. I understand your assumption. However, since the requirement was not formally specified, we followed our internal standard. To avoid similar misunderstanding in the future, it would be helpful to confirm the applicable specification in advance. To avoid, to prevent similar misunderstanding in the future between us, it will be helpful. No. It would be helpful. It would be helpful. It would be helpful to confirm the applicable specification in advance. It would be helpful to confirm the applicable specification in advance. And you said, you just pinpoint out my pronunciation error. However, I said emotional and confrontational. Confrontational, computational, confrontational. Which one is correct? Confrontational, computational. Hmm, confrontational. Let me find it, my English Korean dictionary.
David, slow down. You're doing very well. First, your long sentence was excellent. Clear structure, calm tone, professional delivery. Now let's fix the vocabulary confusion clearly. The correct word is confrontational, not computational. Let me explain the difference simply. Confrontational means aggressive, argumentative, creating conflict. Example, open quote, that response may sound confrontational. close quote. This fits business meetings. Computational means related to computers, calculations, programming. Example, open quote, computational analysis, close quote. This has nothing to do with tone in meetings. So for business communication, the correct word is open quote, confrontational, close quote. Let's practice pronunciation slowly. Break it like this. Confrontational, stress on TA. Say it slowly. Confrontational. Now say the full sentence, open quote. It may sound emotional and confrontational, close quote. That's the correct combination. And David, the fact that you noticed the difference and questioned it, that's real improvement. Now repeat once, open quote. We want to avoid sounding emotional and confrontational, close quote. Take your time.
GPT, I misunderstood. I misunderstood, GPT. I thought it was deputational. Deputationously. Deputationously. It could be deputational. Am I right? I know. Confrontational is the right word, proper word, better word in this context. But how about the deputational? Deputatious. Deputatiously.
David, I love that you're checking the words carefully. That's how you grow. Now let's clear this up calmly. The word deputational does not really exist in normal English. There is a word deputy, like vice president or assistant, but deputational or deputatiously are not standard English words. So in this context, deputational, not correct, deputatious, not correct, deputatiously, not correct. The correct word you want is confrontational, meaning aggressive, argumentative, creating conflict. For example, open quote, that response may sound confrontational, close quote, very natural. Now let's compare with another useful word you might like, reputational. This one does exist. Reputational equals related to reputation. Example, open quote, this issue could cause reputational damage, close quote. But that's a completely different meaning. So remember, confrontational, tone, conflict, reputational, reputation image, computational, computer related. Only confrontational fits your meeting situation. Now, say this slowly, open quote, we want to avoid sounding confrontational in meetings, close quote. Say it calmly.
가정이
그 철춘씨
아, 예.
제재분이
맞습니다. 애가 엄마랑 어제 쿠키를 만들어가지고 그래서
너
친구를
이거 안 껴서 저 가져가서 애들이랑 같이 먹을게.
아,
안녕하십니까. 이렇게 먹을게요.
네네.
고마워요.
네. 안녕하십니까.
안녕하십니까.